Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Employer Highlight Series. My name is Scott Johnson. I'm the Ohio Meets Jobs Columbus Franklin County Job Center operator, and we're excited today to have a great organization with us, which is Nationwide Children's Hospital. You know, if you're like me, you recognize the large campus on the east side of downtown, butterflies on the buildings. We were just talking about that before the session started. So everybody's seen Nationwide Children's Hospital from time to time. But our goal today is to really give you some insight into how Nationwide Children's Hospital works, what it's like to work there. And we have Lexi and Sue with us today. Ladies, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then we'll get started.
I guess I can go first. I'm Lexi, and I am a talent acquisition partner at Nationwide Children's Hospital. I support lots of different areas ranging from engineering, supply chain, sleep lab, all kinds of good stuff.
And my name is Sue Dowd. I have been a recruiter at Children's for 21 years. Woohoo! And today's my birthday. Just a little shout out there.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. And I'm so excited to be here and talk with everybody about jobs at Children's because it's a great place to be. So can't wait to talk more.
Awesome. Well, first of all, double congratulations, Sue, because 21 years means that you have seen an organization transform, right? Like it started one way, and it's definitely evolving into something which is huge. And happy birthday as well.
Thank you.
I think I'd like to start by just talking a little about the background of Nationwide Children's, because for some individuals, they know that it exists, but they may not know kind of where the organization has come from and that type of thing. So let's start there.
Sure. Well, I think probably one of the biggest things to know about Children's is if you are looking to work with children, take care of children, you love kids, this is the place to be because that's what we do. And when you have 14,000 people that feel that way and care about kids, it's really powerful. So I think that's probably the core of who we are as an organization. Did I miss anything, Lexi?
No, I think that's the biggest thing is everybody here is really driven by that passion to make a difference and make sure that all of the patients and families are receiving the best care and best experience when they're at the hospital.
Awesome. So it sounds like you guys are really people-centered, not only in obviously the work that you do every day, because it's one thing to be in healthcare. And I think that is just amplified so much when you do talk about, the kiddos, their parents, their guardians, that whole support system. It really becomes something of a passion, I would assume. And that's probably what you guys are really looking for is individuals with that passion, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So let's talk a little about the characteristics of good employees, because I think that's always a nice place to start. When you are looking for someone for the various positions that you have open, what are those characteristics that make someone a great employee for Nationwide Children's Hospital?
You want to start, Lexi?
Sure. Yeah. I think, one of the biggest things that I look for is I always ask why Nationwide Children's and why they want to work at Children's. And like you said, there really is some sort of passion, whether it's loving kids or wanting to make a difference. Those are really important. And then I think, just the basic being a dependable, reliable employee and wanting to come to work every day. And I think that's something that when I came to Children's, I've only been here about 9 months. But the whole making a difference, it just makes me excited to come there every day.
Yeah, I think I would add too that many of our departments really want someone who is collaborative, someone who is a good team player. When you work in healthcare, there's no way you can do it by yourself. There's just way too much going on. We have many complex care cases. So, we have some kiddos who are really sick. It's a big organization, so you're going to be working with other people throughout the hospital. So I think that collaborative, teamwork-driven piece is very important. We certainly like people who demonstrate that they can stay at a job for a while. I think it's a great place to start. There's lots of places to go once you get here, but you have to have the patience and the tenacity to stay with us for a while. So I think those are important things.
Yeah, Absolutely. I flash back to our conversation we had yesterday, in prep for the event today. And one of the things that I always like to lift up when I'm out talking to people in the community is just because your primary focus is healthcare and you are a hospital, that doesn't mean that an individual has to have that experience. Like, it takes individuals in IT, it takes people, individuals with experience in logistics and supply chain and HR. I mean, look at the two of you. So that's something that's really important to also lift up, is that you guys are looking for talent in a lot of different sectors. You just happen to work in healthcare, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, Scott. We always say it takes a village because we're such a big organization. So we're hiring people from, cooks to architects, and everything in between. I think you don't necessarily, most people think of doctors and nurses when they think of the hospital, but it's not a place that you necessarily even need to have a college degree. The jobs that Lexi and I are recruiting for today are entry-level positions. You just need to have your high school diploma or GED. Certainly we hire for, 2-year, 4-year, 6-year, and more in terms of education. But, everyone starts someplace. So I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
if you really like kids, is a good place to start.
So I love that you say it's a great place to start, because that leads me into one of my favorite topics when we have these discussions. And that is around the idea of the ability to promote and to gain professional development experience within an organization. I love the stories of someone who starts out as, just a part-time employee and ends up running a business. So let's talk about what your professional development model looks like at Nationwide Children's Hospital.
Want to start, Lex?
Yeah, I can do that. So, it definitely varies department to department, but I would say promoting from within is like one of the most common things with when opportunities become available. In materials transport, for example, one of my managers 4 years ago came in as a materials transporter, worked his way up to a coordinator, and is now the supervisor. So there's definitely lots of opportunity for promotion. Materials transport does a lot of cross training. So there's lots of different areas, and the managers are open to training you on all of those to even potentially move to different areas of that specific department.
Yeah, and we actually have a department, organizational development, and they will tell you that your development matters. That's important to us organizationally. We actually have a workforce development coordinator, and he does lots of work with people because, sometimes when you come in and you get started, it's great to begin, but then you don't know what your path is. And so we have a lot of lunch and learns and brown bag series to kind of help you figure out where your path goes, whether it leads more into patient care or perhaps it's more of a behind the scenes, back of the house kind of role, because everyone, even as an individual contributor, is making a big difference to patient care. So those are, I think a few of the things that we have that help with your development. So
Yeah, I love the idea of those lunch and learns, because you're right. You don't know what you don't know. And so what better way to really inform, your employees of the options, but to have informational sessions like that, which is huge. While we talk about professional development, because I think that's always one of the big benefits a lot of people are looking at when they make decisions on, where they want to apply for employment. What other benefits are offered through Nationwide Children's Hospital?
Yeah. So, Sue, you can kind of touch on some things and then I can.
Okay. Well, I was going to say before we move off of professional development, I did want to mention our employee resource groups, because I think that's another way to feel connected and to learn more about other jobs without having to go outside of your organization. And we have, I don't know, 6 or 7 employee resource groups. One that I belong to is the military ERG. We call it MERG. But we have a monthly meeting. It's a great way for everyone to connect. We recently just had a promotion. We did coffee with a mission over Veterans Day and raised money for Honor Flight. So, and we've had some different kinds of, again, lunch and learns, and just ways to connect people who are in different departments. When you're working with that really big organization, sometimes, you start to feel a little lost, and the ERGs really just help to connect you in different areas outside of your own department.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And a lot of individuals talk about Columbus as the big city with the small town feel. So I think that just fits right into that. But yeah, if we can, let's also talk about the other benefits just so that everyone has an idea of what's available through Nationwide Children's Hospital.
Yeah, we have the base level, all the healthcare, dental, all that good stuff. But then some of our like extra perks, there is an on-site gym that you can join that's reduced cost for working at Children's, and it's located on site, which is nice. So a lot of people will like go there on their lunch or right after work. Saves on the travel time. We have a child care center on site as well, which is super convenient for those people with kiddos. That saves, again, travel time if your kid's going to the daycare right next to your office. And then we also have really great healthcare coverage for kiddos. So if you do have children, I want to say it's 95% of stuff is covered at Children's, which is awesome.
And there's no waiting period for our benefits too. So they
Yes.
start as soon as you begin
Day
working.
one.
Yeah.
So you totally just read my mind, because that was going to be my next question. Because that's important to a lot of individuals. We've had a lot of individuals over the past year and a half that have transitioned either out of employment or to different types of employment. And so that waiting period does factor in. I also love the idea of having on-site childcare, because we know that so many times that can be a deciding factor in where someone decides to work is, what childcare is available to them and where they have to travel. Lexi, you mentioned, that it's right there. You don't have a half-hour commute each way to just drop your child off and pick them up before you go home. So that's a huge win, and it gives you more time to be present with your kids, which is always great as well.
Well, and Scott, a couple fun things, which I think not a lot of places do. We actually give everyone a birthday gift. You actually get to pick it. So I should be getting my shirt any day now. And then we give everyone in the organization a holiday gift, which there's not many companies anymore that still give holiday gifts. But we are starting our rollout actually later this week. So, I think they're very kind and fun things to do in a really big organization that, again, just connects everyone.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely awesome. And can't wait to see the shirt. I mean, you're going to have to send me a picture now, because I'm very, very curious. Yeah, definitely. So before we kind of head into the nuts and bolts of what the hiring process looks like, one of the other questions, and with, this obviously being in healthcare and being a children's hospital, we'd like to give some information to those that are watching about the idea of background checks, drug screens, those type of things, in how Nationwide Children's Hospital handles that.
Yeah, so we, after the interview process, we do have a process set up where you will have a BCI FBI background check completed. You'll have a drug urinalysis completed as well. And then another thing that I think is really important to note, like you mentioned, we're in healthcare, and the new rollout of the COVID vaccine being required due to receiving funding from Medicaid and Medicare. So I think that's important to point out.
Yep, definitely. Okay, so let's talk about the actual hiring process. Obviously, someone will apply online, or I'm going to put a shameless plug in right here. They can register to come into our job center this Thursday and meet with the two of you with our Thursday with an employer that's on December 2nd at 11 o'clock. And, that to me is an exciting opportunity, because they will meet you, and they'll actually be able to put a face with someone at Nationwide Children's Hospital. And the flip side, you'll be able to put a face with an applicant. So if anybody has a desire, they can do that. But outside of attending our Thursday, what does the hiring process look like?
So typically everyone will apply online. And then often, if you meet the qualifications, you will get a call for an interview. That kind of depends on the recruiter. So you'll either come in for an in-person interview at that point or a virtual interview with the recruiter and then come for a second interview with the manager. I know Lexi and I both interview with our managers, so a lot of times we combine that for one visit. Some roles actually require some testing, which can be either done online or maybe done the day you come. I would say from start to finish, it probably takes anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks to be hired with us, because it is a bit of a process. And once you get through the interview phase, then you need to go through your references. If you're offered the job, then you come in for what Lexi mentioned earlier, your employment appointment, and then orientation. So it's probably a longer stretch than most people are used to.
Yeah, but there's with all the benefits and everything that you do in being employee focused, it's obviously worth that effort for sure.
We think so.
No, definitely, definitely. So let's talk about the specific positions that you have available that you're recruiting for right now. Let's talk about those a little bit.
Go ahead, Lex.
Okay. So like I mentioned before, some of the areas I cover, materials, so supply chain, and specifically right now I have a lot of openings for material transport. There's a few different areas in materials transport, but really they're responsible for keeping the hospital stocked. My managers for those departments always say they do the stocking and expiration so that the nurses don't have to. That way the nurses and doctors can go in, grab what they need, get back to their patient. There's no hunting down the items. So it's a lot of walking in those positions and learning your way around the hospital, definitely. And then, just throwing out some other areas, I have quite a few engineering positions and skilled trades. So ranging from mechanics, plumbers, that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I have a lot of openings.
And do you want to mention the shift times for your material transporters?
Yeah, so materials transport, there's the 3 different areas, so they kind of range, but they start as early as 5 a.m. And if you start at 5 a.m., you're done by about 1:30. There's also the 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and 9 a.m. start times, which then puts you out based on whatever time you come in. So there's a nice flexibility in those schedules.
Yeah, I think that's always really important as well, and being able to not only find a position that you want to do, but to be able to find that work schedule that is flexible enough to fit your lifestyle. So I think that is wonderful. Are all of the positions full time?
So right now, all of my positions that are posted are full time. There might be one that is weekends and part time. Perk about working the weekends is you get weekend shift diff, so that's nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So we mentioned earlier we are going to have you on site this Thursday, December 2nd, 11 a.m. for our Thursday with an employer. We're really excited about that opportunity. Hopefully we can find, some great material transport individuals and patient transport individuals for you. But keep in mind, you can visit Nationwide Children's Hospital's website and go to their careers page to look at all of those wonderful openings that they have. And if you see something that fits what you're interested in, definitely schedule to come in and participate in our Thursday with an employer event, because we want to pack the house and really make a difference in the staffing at Nationwide Children's Hospital. I think that's the goal for all of us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now the biggest question of everything. What have I forgotten to ask you? Like, I always want to give you a chance. If there's something that I didn't ask that you definitely want to lift up or mention, Lexi Sue, do you have anything that you want to lift up?
Sure. I'd like to talk a little bit about the jobs that I have open, because every recruiter recruits for different areas. So I do have patient transport positions available. Those jobs work 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. They rotate every other weekend. Sort of like Lexi's job, it's a lot of walking. The difference would be that you have a lot more patient interaction. These jobs are also great for students because they will hire part-time students to work 24 hours a week. So that is what we would call a 0.6. So that is one job. Another position that I'm always recruiting for is pharmacy technicians. So if you are an experienced technician and you have the ability to get your PTCB or your EXCPT certification, I would love to meet with you. I have positions available in inpatient and outpatient, and they're all full time. And I think it's important to know too that really almost all of our jobs work some weekends, because as a hospital, we're open 24/7. So when you're working in healthcare, you are working some weekends and evenings, and shifts that maybe not everybody wants. But like Lexi mentioned, we're going to pay you that extra shift differential to kind of ease the pain of second shift.
Excellent. And I appreciate you. I didn't even realize that I didn't give you a chance to talk about your open positions. So I'm glad we got those out. So,
Yeah.
in hearing what both of you mentioned, though, what I'm hearing is that this is an employment opportunity with a wonderful organization that is people focused, has a wonderful book of benefits, not only the traditional, but also some of those more employee focused, interactive type opportunities with positions for every skill set. So there's something for everybody is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So now we have the shameless plug again. This Thursday, December 2nd, 11 a.m. Please register and come visit with Lexi and Sue, the team from Nationwide Children's Hospital at our job center. You can register through our website or by calling us at 614-559-5052. And the great thing about coming to the Thursday, it really helps accelerate the hiring process, because you will be able to apply for an open position and you'll be able to talk to the recruiters that are on site. So it kind of helps you get that foot in the door and get things moving a little bit faster than if you just go to the website and apply. However, if you can't make that session, definitely visit the Nationwide Children's Hospital's website and go to their careers page to explore the wonderful opportunities that they have. So, ladies, I appreciate you joining me today. And Sue, one more time, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for our next employer highlight. Have a great day.
You too. See you Thursday.
That's right.